enjoying this new perspective on Live About Five. I'm thrilled that the software that I use to come visit you each evening is actually allowing me to be in this format, which is what we're all used to, right? Tonight's topic is really important. It's about what to do if you're lonely. One of the things that I hear from a lot of the community is that they're struggling. They kind of feel isolated, even post COVID. And it's hard because when you're feeling lonely, it's not always easy to then begin going out, right? I mean, especially when you're an introvert and it's not really your jam to go to some big thing and meet a bunch of new people, or when the world is so divided. It's hard to think, well, why don't I go on to this party and try to meet some new people, only to find out everybody there is on the way opposite side of everything you believe. Maybe they're just making you feel even more lonely, right? It also is like maybe you've been hurt. You went out on a limb, you really went all in with a group of friends, and then it turned out that wasn't going to work out. That's so hard. Or maybe like you're lonely, but you don't necessarily want to be with people because people can suck, right? So, what do you do? Well, I've got 8 suggestions for you. And the first is to connect with others. And you can start, I know that sounds simple, but when you connect with other people intentionally and you start with kind of those safe bases, maybe an old friend or a family member, an acquaintance, and you initiate social activity, you say, hey, I'm going to go to blah, blah, blah for dinner. Would you like to join me? Or would you like to grab coffee sometime next week? I'm available Tuesday and Thursday at 3 and 6, right? But you have to actually be proactive and work to connect with people. The second thing is to volunteer. You know, I'm really big into this, and this is a huge part of my life. It's also how I've met some of the most pivotal people in my life. So, volunteering should be really about something you love to do. You would do it even if you didn't meet people that you really liked, right? But the chances that you might meet someone that you're simpatico with, because maybe you're volunteering, let's say, for Habitat for Humanity, because you really care about making sure everybody has safe housing, other people that are there will be caring about the same thing. Or maybe it's because you're really keen on construction and renovation of homes, you've done your own, and you want to meet other people that do the same thing. But when you volunteer with something you love, you're going to meet like minded people. Next is seeking support online. There are online communities and forums. I'm not talking about reaching out one on one in this aspect of my recommendations. I'm literally talking about going to groups and forums or joining groups that maybe even there's a small subscription to be a part of. Maybe there's someone who's a homesteader that you follow that has a smaller community. There's a community I'm a part of called the Nerds with Sharon Says So, who I've recommended people follow here quite frequently. She's a government teacher that now teaches America all about government. And she helps us understand kind of how is the Constitution set up? What are the state's responsibilities? What are the Fed responsibilities? She'll go back in time and explain things. She has a book club. So we all read the same book together. And then guess what? We meet the author online. I love this group. And the people that are in this group do not agree with me on everything, but they do agree that it's important to learn and to come together and to be, number one, respectful, no matter what anybody else is saying. You want to be respectful in your words. And secondly, to be unreasonably positive, to expect miracles, to come together to really change the world in a meaningful way. That's my jam. So I found that online community and it's a real joy in my life. So find something that you love like that. If you want more information, obviously just DM me and I'll help you. Next is to get involved in actual activities. Do you want to learn how to do pottery? Take piano lessons. Maybe join a softball league. Maybe join a basketball league. Or maybe there's a tea club in your town where everybody gets together and goes to tea tastings. If that's not in existence and it's something that you want, start it yourself, right? There's no limit to what you can do here. Next is to take up a new hobby. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a ham radio operator and I have my technician's license. I'm working on my general license, and it would be great to be around other people doing that, right? So when you are a ham radio operator, not only are you able to connect with people in your community, in your ham radio clubs, but you're able to connect online and you're able to connect all over the world. How cool is that? So find a hobby that really gets you where you want to go. Locally, I know some really cool ones like knitting clubs, right? Or book clubs. Go to places that you love, join clubs and do activities that you love. Maybe you'll be a newbie. It's something you've never tried before. And that would be even better because then you're kind of fulfilling your curiosity and learning self as well. Next is to practice self care. If you're really feeling lonely, that is going to chip away at your resilience. When we feel lonely, when we don't feel connected, that's dangerous, honestly. And so I want you to consider actually taking the energy, which I know is difficult, to take care of yourself because you're lonely for a reason and you're looking for a connection. Make sure you're connected with yourself so that you are really pampering that hurtness that you have. And then next is to consider therapy or counseling. You know, I love BetterHelp online, but maybe what you need is to find a therapist one on one in person. And that would really be more powerful. Check that out. And there's going to be somebody locally that can kind of give you good local feedback, perhaps. And then last but not least is adopt a pet. I love my little Yorkie, Charlie, and he was rehomed from someone that could no longer take care of him. He is the joy of my life as an empty nester. I've got all those mama instincts, right? And I needed something to love, and he is the perfect thing for me. So the cool thing about a pet, too, is it gets you moving and gets you out. Charlie's a party Yorkie. It's a really specific type of dog. And so I could be in groups that are for party Yorkies or Yorkshire Terriers, or I could go for a walk and meet other dog owners, right? Having a dog isn't just about having something to love that loves you back, because dogs, oh my gosh, aren't they amazing? But it's also about the opportunity to walk them each day, to learn about what they need to eat, right? It's a whole new set of responsibilities for you. So it can be really incredible. But I want you to understand that if you are lonely, ironically, first of all, you're not alone. A lot of people right now are feeling very isolated and very alone. And I want to invite you to be a part of this community because we are positive, we are kind, we are loving, we are resilient, and we're working to support everybody being that way. I think it's a time in our world, whether you're in the US or elsewhere, where it's really critical that we come together and lift each other up. So I don't want anyone to feel alone. And these 8 suggestions are really going to help you get to the other side. I'm so grateful that you're here. I love you all so much. And I'll see you Monday right here, live around 5.